I'm 91 years old, and for a long time I pretended not to notice that my children had stopped calling. I told myself they were busy. I told myself it was normal. Only recently did I finally understand why the phone stayed quiet. I'm not saying this to blame them. I'm too old for that now. I'm saying it because the truth came late and it came heavy, and I don't want it to die with me. At 91, time feels different. Days are long, but years feel like they pass in a blink. I sit in the same chair most mornings. I know the sound of the house too well. Every creak, every hum. Silence becomes familiar if you live with it long enough. People assume loneliness in old age comes from loss, death, distance, bodies giving out. That's part of it, sure, but that's not the whole story. Sometimes loneliness comes from things you did while you were still strong. I had children when I was young. I was proud of that. I worked hard, long hours. I believed that was love. Keeping the lights on, making sure there was food, making sure nothing fell apart. I didn't grow up with much affection. My parents weren't cruel, just busy surviving. So I thought love was responsibility. I thought warmth was optional. When my children were small, they wanted my attention in loud ways. They tugged at my sleeves. They asked questions that went nowhere. They wanted me to watch things that didn't matter. I remember feeling tired a lot. I'd say not now or later or go ask your mother. I thought there would be more time. When they got older, they wanted me in quieter ways. They wanted me to listen, to notice, to ask how they were really doing. By then, I was used to being busy. I didn't ignore them on purpose. I just kept putting things off. Conversations, apologies, sitting down without an agenda. I told myself I'd make it up to them someday. Someday is a dangerous word. In my 40s and 50s, I felt important. People needed me at work. I had decisions to make. I had responsibilities. At home, I assumed everything was fine because no one complained loudly enough to stop me. My wife tried to tell me things. Not in arguments, just small comments. They miss you. You're always tired. They don't talk to you much anymore. I brushed it off. I thought she was worrying too much. That's another thing age teaches you. The warnings usually come quietly. The damage didn't happen all at once. It happened slowly. A missed recital here, a short answer there, a birthday phone call made late at night instead of showing up. I didn't see the pattern forming. I only see it now. By the time my children were adults, we didn't fight. We didn't argue. We were polite, cordial. That felt like success to me back then. I didn't realize politeness is sometimes what people settle for when closeness feels unsafe. My wife died before I understood any of this. That's something I carry with me. She was the bridge between us, whether I admitted it or not. When she was gone, the calls slowed down. At first, they still checked in. Holidays, birthdays. Then those calls got shorter, less frequent. Conversations stayed on the surface. How are you feeling? Fine. Anything you need? No. That became the pattern. I told myself not to be a burden. I told myself they'd call if they wanted to. The truth is, I had spent years teaching them that I was distant, that I didn't need much, that I wasn't someone you went to with feelings, so they stopped. There was no big argument, no final phone call where someone said goodbye, just a slow fading. One day I realized months had passed without hearing their voices. That's when it finally hit me. They didn't stop calling because they didn't love me. They stopped calling because we never learned how to talk. That understanding didn't bring relief. It brought grief. There are things you can repair, relationships you can rebuild if you catch them in time. But time itself doesn't wait for clarity. I can't go back and sit on the floor with them when they were small. I can't answer questions they stopped asking decades ago. I can't be the father they needed when they needed him. All I have left is honesty. If you're listening to this and you're younger, I don't want you to feel guilty. That's not my goal. I just want you to know something I learned too late. Children don't need perfect parents. They need present ones. They remember who listened, who showed up, who stayed in the room when things were uncomfortable. I thought being strong meant being distant. I was wrong. Now at 91, my days are quiet. I read the same pages more than once. I look at old photographs longer than I should. I don't expect the phone to ring anymore. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. I've made peace for that. If this story meant something to you, maybe just sit a little longer with the people in your life. Not because you're afraid of losing them, but because closeness doesn't keep itself alive. I'm running out of time now. I can feel that. And strangely, there's a calm in finally understanding the truth. At least now I know why the phone stopped ringing.